This was about a month ago. We had a fire going on and stuff, and I had nodded out off my drugs, and I had felt somebody come up and hit me with something, and I thought I was dreaming or something, and I put my hand on the back of my neck, and I thought it was raining, but it was blood, and I found out that I got stabbed 4 times.
So this happened while you were sleeping?
Correct.
Oh, wow. And as a result,
I have a hole in my neck here, a scar in the back of my neck down below my hairline. I got this scar on my arm here.
wow, that's all from...
Yeah, and also this here.
Woo! So that's from the stabbing.
Correct.
Man.
And it was all by a person that I've never even met before.
Okay, who am I speaking to today?
My name is Louie Mack.
Okay, Louie, what's your current situation?
Currently, I've been residing in the streets of Kensington, North Philadelphia for about the past 6 months. I'm currently hooked on fentanyl and tranq and cocaine. And I'm just struggling, bro. Struggling. Trying to stay alive every day.
Okay, so you said 6 months. Where you been staying during this time?
Honestly, it depends on what it's like outside that night. I mean, depending on the violence, the police hassle, I move from street to street. You know what I mean? It changes every day.
Okay, so you said it's been 6 months this time, and you've been on the streets before?
Yes, for about 5 years. And I had to go to jail for a few months, and then basically the day I got out, I started all over again.
Okay, so take me back to the first 5 years. How did it initially happen?
Well, I've been hooked on opiates ever since I was younger. I've always had a problem with drugs since a teenager. And basically, you know, Philadelphia is known for their drugs. They got good drugs. And unfortunately, people, you know, end up relocating just to be close to the good drugs. And I ended up being one of those people, you know? And, you know, the stuff is so strong nowadays, it's, you know, it grips you by your whole life, and you can't control it, you know?
Okay, so what was the reason for you leaving wherever you were staying at?
Basically, it was just more convenient to be down here because I didn't have to travel to get my drugs, you know?
Okay, well, who were you staying with?
I started off staying with a friend on North Water Street.
No, I mean before being on the streets.
I was with my my grandmother and my father.
Okay, and you basically left home,
right,
to go be in the streets.
It started off, you know, leaving every day, copping, coming back home, and eventually, you know, it just became a hassle. And you know, like a lot of other people, you know, I came down here one day and I got stuck and I just never went home.
Okay. And that place you're talking about is Kensington, Philadelphia, right?
Correct.
And so you spent 5 years on the streets of Kensington.
On and off, yeah.
On and off, doing your thing, and then you ended up in jail.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long were you in prison?
I was only there for about 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
The reason I lasted so long on the street, though, for the 5 years was because I originally maxed out my sentence. I basically told the judge just to give me all my time, just so I could get high when I got released, and I didn't have to report to anybody and worry about it anymore. That's how important drugs became to me. I mean, it's insanity, but that's what we do.
So you were clean in jail, right?
Correct.
For 4 months?
Correct.
So that didn't help in, you know, the process?
To be honest with you, the only thing it helped with was my budget that I spent on drugs. And that's all I looked forward to from the time I went in to the day I got out was I only got to spend $10 now.
So you didn't plan on being clean. You was waiting to get high again.
Right.
Okay. And what do you feel can solve this issue?
Honestly, right now I feel like the professional centers and the rehabilitation centers are letting us as addicts down because they literally do not know how to handle this issue with the drugs, specifically here in Philadelphia. We're known for our strong dope, our fentanyl and our tranq. It's the strongest in the country, and it's taking people down one by one, and it's scary. And it's so strong that, you know, people literally cannot physically and psychologically go through it on their own. And, you know, they're losing their limbs, you know, and they don't care. They still
saw
go down
that.
the street, you know.
Speaking of that, you had a situation. Well, it's not really a tranq hole, but you had a situation. Tell me about that.
I was actually residing on a back street that a couple people were staying at the time. And this was about a month ago. We had a fire going on and stuff, and I had nodded out off my drugs, and I had felt somebody come up and hit me with something, and I thought I was dreaming or something, and I put my hand on the back of my neck, and I thought it was raining, but it was blood, and I found out that I got stabbed 4 times.
So this happened while you were sleeping?
Correct.
Oh, wow. And as a result,
I have a hole in my neck here, a scar in the back of my neck down below my hairline. I got this scar on my arm here.
wow, that's all from...
Yeah, and also this here.
Woo! So that's from the stabbing.
Correct.
Man.
And it was all by a person that I've never even met before.
So how long you been dealing with the Fetty?
The Fetty, basically, when I maxed out and got released from prison in 2019, February, the Fetty was just hitting the scene in the streets of Philadelphia as pure fentanyl, as I was getting out of prison. And basically it was like a recipe for disaster, because, you know, I was coming back to the streets, you know, trying to get regular dope, and it's pure fentanyl now, and it's like, whoa, like this is a completely different ball game. You know what I mean? You know, back when you do 2-3 bags, now you do a sprinkle and you go out, you know? And then it got to the point where people's tolerance were getting so big to where the fentanyl wasn't enough, and the dealers were hooking it with tranq. It's called XYLAZINE. It's an elephant tranquilizer, horse tranquilizer. And I mean, that just totally turned the whole game around. The dope game will never be the same again, ever.
I see, and it's seemingly almost impossible for people to kick that. I mean, even with tearing their body up, it's like it's just it has such a hold on people. It's a new form of recovery.
Correct.
That we have to get used to. What's your daily habit, like cost?
Right now I consider myself lucky. Before I went in the hospital 2 weeks ago, it was about $30-$40 a day. Now it could be anywhere from $10 to $40 a day. But right now the dope is more important to me than the cocaine. Cocaine is more just for fun. You know what I mean? But right now I'm just trying to, you know, stay functioning, and, you know, with that I just need the dope, the fentanyl.
All right. Now, seriously, how do you plan on turning this around? Or do you have plans on turning this around?
My first step is going back to the hospital and proving to myself and to the people that love me that I care about my life. Enough to take care of it and stay alive at least, you know. That's my first step. Because before I didn't care at all. You know what I mean? And I mean, people probably look at me right now like the way I'm dressed, walking around like, this guy's out of his mind, he don't care about his life. But they just don't know my story. You know what I mean? Okay, I had a bad day, I left the hospital and I gotta go back. Big deal. I'm an addict, you know what I mean? So I gotta try again. And that's all I can do, man, is just keep trying. I just can't give up.
Absolutely. And do you think that the Fetty is way harder to get over?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking, I mean, going into jail and telling the judge to give me a whole extra year just so I can get out and start using it again, when heroin was never like that. You know what I mean? Heroin you get over in a week. The withdrawal's done. This fentanyl and tranq shit, it completely takes over your mind, your body, your soul. I mean, there's people literally out there selling their soul for $5 worth of this shit. I mean, shit is real right now. It really is. I mean, the crime rate is out of pocket. The you know, the theft, everything. It's all due to drug use. And I don't see any change soon.
Okay. How did you initially get on drugs?
When I was in high school, I sold marijuana and cocaine, and everybody in my family is a user. And basically, I just got bored one day and I found out that my dad was an addict. And that basically he, you know, was moving out of our household and doing his own thing because he'd rather keep doing drugs than get help and stay with us. And that's the first day that I ever tried opiates, because I was so curious, you know, what's so good about him that my dad's willing to leave us, you know what I mean? And that's basically, you know, how I got started on hard drugs.
Gotcha. So this whole time you've been out here, 5 years and then 6 months, have you ever tried going in a shelter?
Nah.
That was never a thought.
I'd rather keep myself separated from people because I find it easier like that. For some reason, with me personally, the more I involve myself with people around me, the more difficult my situation becomes. I don't know why. Maybe it's bad luck. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I got a problem. I don't know. But I'd rather just stay solo. You know, it's just easier like that.
Gotcha.
Especially in the street, you can't trust anybody. If the cops came and said, I'm going to save your life today, I wouldn't trust them. I just don't.